Dear friends in Scouting, this event has been prepared to be a positive and engaging experience of education and decision-making for the future of World Scouting. We want to make this event meaningful and enjoyable for you. To be as inclusive as possible, we offer all the plenary sessions in our official WUSM languages, English and French. To do so, go to Session Information and click on the Interprefy button. You can then select the language in which you would like to follow for the plenary session. If you have any challenges, please reach out to our dedicated help desk team. On the platform's bottom right corner, you will see the help icon. Here, you can get access and connect with the support team. Delegates are entitled to ask their questions related to the plenary discussions using the live Q&A section. We will do our best to address all your questions either through written responses or directly on stage. You can also use the discussion forum to interact with other participants, speakers, and chairpersons. All participants will be muted during the plenary. If you wish to intervene, raise your hand to talk, and our production team will bring you to the stage. You will need to accept our invitation to join the green room, where our team will test your microphone. And when you're invited to the green room, we also encourage you to turn on your camera to get to know you and best represent the diversity of our movement. Abusive behavior of any kind that leads to harm, prejudice, discrimination, or harassment against any person will not be tolerated during the World Scout Youth Forum. We have safe from harm procedures in place to make sure everyone feels safe and welcomed during this event. If you need any further information, please check scoutconference.org/safefromharm. If you feel unsafe at any moment while participating in the World Scout Youth Forum, please share your concerns by emailing safeforum@scout.org or reach out to a listening ear available at the events. To keep you well informed throughout the forum, you will find the agenda and links to different sessions on the event's participation platform. We will also use the official World Scout Youth Forum website as a communication channel. This plenary session is being streamed live on YouTube and Facebook and will be made available on the platform afterwards for you to see. Let's start our plenary session by welcoming our chairpersons. Enjoy your World Scout Youth Forum.
Yay! Welcome everyone, welcome. We enjoy some dance and welcome to the 4th day of the World Scout Youth Forum. Before we proceed, let us start with a reflection for the day.
My name is Quinn Callender, and I am 12 years old and from Vancouver, BC, and I'm in Scouts. Okay, so right here you have the ear guard, as we are calling it, and you have these little hooks. So what you would do is you would put this on the back of your head, and you would take the straps from the mask, and you would just take and hook them over top so they fit inside of here, and you can adjust it however you want, and it just takes the straps off of the back of your ears and moves them further back so it doesn't cause you any stress. We have produced around 500 at the moment. Currently, anybody who lives kind of close to where we are can just drive down and pick them up off our porch. Otherwise, we can just mail it to them. I feel like during this time, this pandemic, where we have to stay at home in order to protect others, that we should try our best to contribute more to the people who are working to help stop this. So we heard back from the healthcare workers, and they said, well, they've all been very thankful that they can actually focus on their patients instead of the pain in the back of their ears. Because the posting that we originally had to kind of show what I was doing has gained a lot of attention.
My husband and I were so inspired by seeing a young Boy Scout print ear guards for medical masks, so we used the design file to start printing them from our 3D printer.
Well, the file has been downloaded over 60,000 times, and that means that people from around the world have begun to print out these ear guards and have donated them to their local hospitals and medical professionals.
And the cool thing too is that because of all the publicity he's had from it, we've been approached by a few manufacturers, and one in particular from Michigan in the US has now turned their operation towards this and is donating thousands and is actually shipping us 10,000 units within the next week so that we can distribute those across Canada.
It made me feel great that I can contribute to the people who are risking their lives to help save ours, and we'll just try and help until we don't need to. Just try and find out what you can do in your community and work towards achieving whatever may be the problem. So to anyone who would like to help for this cause, if you happen to have a 3D printer that is available to use, the file should be easy to find, and just try and print out as many as you can and donate them to your local hospital or medical professionals. When people say that you're too young to make a difference, I tell them, watch me.
What an inspiring example of resilience. Queen taught us that no matter how young you are, we can make a difference in people's life. Little by little, action by action, and we are impacting our community every day. Queen responded to the global pandemic with an innovative approach and several solutions, an altruistic spirit, and inspiring others truly. I want to leave you with the last words of this 12-year-old Queen. Why don't you try it out to find what we can do for the community and work towards solving all these challenges? Take some time to think about it, what we are doing, and what else you can do to the community, and share with us in the chat. Thank you for participating in this truly inspiring reflection. After the reflection, are you excited to see another video from Jasper to help us recap what's happened yesterday? Let's have a look. Thank you, Jasper, for the recap. Yesterday was such an exciting day where we got an introduction to all the resolutions that we're going to discuss at length today and tomorrow. We also elected our youth advisors and got to work on our youth forum decoration. I hope you all enjoy the drafting and the dialogues that you had within the international teams. All of this is possible only with the work and time of many volunteers around the world. Especially again and again, we want to extend a big, big thank you to the planning team who are joining us from all around the world and helping us to make this event a success. Anastasia, Noor, Sarah, Ahmed, and Rafda, thank you so much. Without you all, this will not be a great success. Now, before we dive into the agenda of today, let me share a few reminders with all of you. As you know, we have interpretation services available, but please only use the interpretation when needed and not to jam the system. I'm happy to also let you know that, thanks to the support of our volunteers, from now on, we'll have interpretation available in French, Arabic, as well as Spanish. During the World Scout Conference, interpretation will also be available in Russian. A big thank you to all our interpreters for helping us making this event more accessible to young people. In plenary sections, you may use the chat to engage with other participants and the Q&A function to post questions to us. Your questions may be answered live, or one of the supporting staff will reach out and help you. And if you miss any part of the plenary section, you can always rewatch them later at any time. Sections happening outside the plenary are also an important part of this forum, so do not miss any of them. Please note that these are repeated twice, such that all participants from different time zones can all join in the sections. Please remember that there are workshops, exhibitions, networking sections, and more happening around the clock 24/7. We hope to see you there and hope you engage in all the sections. So in today's agenda, we have a lot to go through. First, we're going to start looking at resolutions and constitutional amendments in the plenary. Then we'll move on to breakout rooms for further discussions. After that, we'll come back to the plenary and vote on our 14th World Scout Youth Forum Declaration and develop more on our personal action plan. Let's get started for this exciting day. Deanna, over to you.
Thank you, Maury. So yesterday we started discussing the draft resolutions, a constitutional amendment. It was actually really great discussions out there. We were in a couple of them and saw a lot of young people discussing, sharing concerns, ideas, and also answering some questions around these draft resolutions. So in this time, in these few minutes that we have together, let me walk you through some of the main ideas that you all shared. You might remember that we did various exercises in Padlet. So here is a visual recap of what we did together yesterday. And let me walk you through some of the main points that we had yesterday. So from the discussions and from the comments that we have on the different Padlets, I'm going to recap on the draft resolutions and constitutional amendments. The idea here is that you can take this as an inspiration so that we can go afterwards in international teams back again, and that you see, even if you were not able to join all of the breakout sessions, that you understand what is happening around, and that you can take that into consideration when you go back into your international team to continue discussions. So first, on safe from harm, we talked about the importance of this issue and raising awareness around safe from harm at all levels of scouting. You also talked about the importance of breaking the silence also in online events and interactions and activities that we have in the scouting. You also talk about the need of NSOs to embrace safe from harm as one of the highest priorities in our movement, to adopt national policies, to deliver local trainings in local languages, and also to partner with local authorities. You also ask ourselves, how can we enforce compliance within NSOs? These are some of the highlights. You can also go back to Padlet to see more of these discussions. You will now be, at the end of this session, we will be sharing a link where you can access all of the Padlets. Now, on youth engagement and the youth engagement strategy and the youth advisor system draft resolutions, these are two separate resolutions, but we're taking together in the breakout sessions. You talked about these resolutions being progressive proposals, but raising some concerns also on if whether or not NSOs are at the same level to nominate young people to the World Scout Committee. We also saw that you discussed around the need to empower the NSOs to put in place more mechanisms to improve youth engagement at the national level and to make young people have leadership roles. You also ask in the rooms, what will happen if no youth are elected? Do we have safety nets? On the evolution of the World Scout Youth Forum and World Scout Conference, you discuss again that this was a progressive proposal to bring both adults and young people at the same place in the same table. You also discuss the importance of ensuring that safe spaces are available for youth to interact, considering the cultural differences that we have. Also, the needs and the importance to empower NSOs, again at the national level, to bring youth delegates to this new event, and to promote intergenerational dialogue. You also touch on the Solidarity Fund, which is mostly needed. And you ask ourselves also, how can WASM better support NSOs before, during, and after the event? On the draft resolution on environmental sustainability, you talked about the importance of focusing our efforts on impacts at the national level. We also reflected on the need to think about how we can do it in reality, how can we implement it, and how we can advance things from the global levels to the regional levels to the local levels. And how is it going to have an impact on the future of Scouting? We know this is a topic that you care a lot, and we saw a lot of discussions happening also on Padlet, so thank you for engaging. We also invited the member organizations that have proposed draft resolutions, and let me tell you that in the breakout session regarding the draft resolution on leadership in peace, there were also very interesting discussions happening. We talked about the importance of Scouting as an intercultural movement that is contributing to building a peace culture at all levels. We also recognize that Scouts can work to build and maintain peace in our communities. And we also ask ourselves, how can this be linked with the Better World Framework programs and initiatives that we have in place? And last but not least, when it comes to Scout events in the modern world, this proposal of resolution, you talked about the importance of events organizers need to certainty around the conditions of the event. Also about the need to participants to have easy access to the events. And we ask ourselves, how do hybrid options, in-person and virtual events, can get fully utilized? So these were some of the very interesting discussions that you had in the breakout rooms yesterday and today. So you had opportunities to join multiple sessions, but again, that was not the end of the conversation. We are continuing the discussion after this brief recap. Again, if you were not able to join a breakout session, do not worry. Here are some of the recaps, and you will still be able to see what other participants have posted on the different Padlet links. Right now, you should be seeing a document, a Google document, where you can see all the links to the Padlets. That's going to be posted in the chat so that you can see what other participants have contributed to these discussions. And when we go to the international team meetings, you can consider this, because again, just as we did with the Youth Forum Declaration, it is very important that we can collaborate and discuss within other international teams so that we can come up with similar ideas. So let me just guide you through what's coming next after this brief recap of your discussions, which are very interesting and very important points. We will now go to international teams. By now, I hope that you are familiarized with how to do this, but again, this is a brief recap. You need to go to the agenda on the platform and find this session that you are seeing on the screen. You need to also have your participants guide, which is document number 5, and you will find the instructions of what you need to do on page number 10. Please find the session that states the number of your international team. The only thing that you need to do is to remember your international team number and to find it and click in the corresponding session. So once you found your international team session and you're there, remember that by now we have mixed groups, so different international teams together. Once you are there and you have document 5 opened, you will see that in page 10, as I said, there is 2 exercises that you need to complete in these 45 minutes that you will have together. The first exercise is to be done in 20 minutes, and basically is just a run-through of an example of how to propose an amendment to a resolution. And the second guided reflection is meant to help you organize within your international teams on what ideas, based on what you have already heard from different groups and from what you have discussed previously in the international teams. Here's the time in which you will organize yourselves to go and collaborate in the documents, and also how to submit your proposals. You will find, again, the instructions in document number 5, page number 10. Here also just a brief reminder, while you're working in this exercise in international teams, you will be asked to start thinking now on what are the specific proposals of amendments that you would like to submit. But for this, remember, we are almost 800 participants in the Youth Forum, so we strongly encourage everyone to collaborate in our collaboration tools. This you will find again in document number 5, in page 7, as shown on screen, a Google document with a link that you can click, and there you can start collaborating with other international teams to find common ground, to find similar ideas on proposals of amendments that you would like to submit. Please use this time so that you can start collaborating and finding people that have similar ideas and that you would like to submit a similar proposal. This, as shown on the screen, is how the collaboration document looks like. You will need first to write your thoughts and collaborate as much as possible in this document. And please be mindful that you need to mark somehow with a color, with a mark, with a comment, where you are adding on someone else's proposals, or if you are doing a completely different proposal. In this document, if you, for example, have an idea on different words that could be better, please, instead of copy-pasting that same idea, please just add it there. This is why we have a collaboration document, so that you can help each other and build on each other ideas. So if you have similar ideas, please mark them in the collaboration document. Once you have your ideas consolidated and you know that, for example, team number 1, 10, 20 are ready to collaborate, you can now be ready to submit your proposal. Remember that you have a specific submission template, and the submission is not It's not the collaboration document. You have a template, and you need to submit that to the email that you're seeing on screen. Now, moving on, just a very small reminder of the deadlines for submitting your proposals of amendments, as you see on the screen. You need to do the formal submissions by international teams by 6 p.m. GMT today, Saturday, 21st of August. After that, the drafting committee will do the review and consolidation of those proposals. And after that, they will be releasing the proposals of amendments latest by tomorrow, Sunday, at 8 a.m. GMT. After that, you will also have opportunities to make some final amendments to the proposed submissions by 11 a.m. on Sunday. And finally, we will have tomorrow a very exciting voting session at 1:45 p.m. GMT. With this, I will now hand it over to Maury to see if you would like to add something else.
Thank you so much, Deanna. Before every one of you go to the breakout rooms, we have received a lot of questions about the live documents that you can see on the draft youth declaration. Just to let everybody know, the drafting committee is working hard to finalize all the amendments to the draft youth forum declarations. So you will see there are some edits in the live documents, but they are only editable by the drafting committees. So you can all see the draft amendments coming over in the next 30 to 60 minutes. With that, I think we are good to go to the breakout rooms.
Yes, Maury, indeed we are. Thank you all for engaging in these discussions. We really appreciate your inputs and your enthusiasm to have these amendments and proposals. I know it's not easy being in a virtual context, so we double thank you for your participation. We will now move to the international teams agenda. Again, you have to go back to the agenda and click in the corresponding number of your international team. We will see you back here after the breakouts to start our voting session on the Youth Forum Declaration. Thank you.